We have the third episode for Creature Commandos, so let's talk about it. A spoiler warning for this episode, because there's certain stuff I want to talk about in here. Okay, so this episode did introduce us to the G.I. Robot's origin story. Now, at first, I was excited to see his origin story. If it was anything like the Bride's origin story, we were in for a treat. But I found myself disappointed because the story just wasn't as strong as the Bride's origin story, and I feel like we didn't get a lot of it. In reality, we probably got the same amount of runtime in both episodes. But to me, it just felt like most of the G.I. Robot's origin was just him in World War II and him just waiting around. I feel like there wasn't really anything in that middle part. Unlike the Bride's origin story, where we got to see her creation, then we got to see the romance that follows that, then we got to see how that ended and where it's at today. Now for the G.I. Robot's origin story, we see him in World War II. We see him just waiting. 10 years later, he's basically at the celebration of World War II. He sees a Nazi symbol, and then he kills all his men that he fought with in World War II because he thinks they're Nazis. The last part of that origin story was the best part of it, because that shows where he's at today. It shows he can't really control his Nazi instincts. He thinks they are a Nazi, he's going for it. So that part of the origin story was the best part. The rest of it could have been better, like the Bride one was. Speaking of G.I. Robot, did they really kill him off? I doubt it, because it's only the third episode. I don't really think they killed off G.I. Robot this early on, because he is a robot, you can't just rebuild him, but the episode just played it off as he died. We'll see what happens, but I doubt they killed him off. Especially since we just got the origin of the character. Now, I forgot how menacing of a character the Weasel is, because at the end of this episode, we see him just completely destroy the villain of the show. Forgot her name. She kind of looks like Starfire, but she's not. But at the end, we see the Weasel just completely destroy this villain. And for the trailer, at the end of the credits and stuff, for the next episode, we're seeing the Weasel story, which, if you ask me, it's about time we see the Weasel story, because this movie is canon to the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. We see the Weasel in the Suicide Squad, kind of. And if my memory is right, he was back in the original 2016 Suicide Squad too. That's not canon, but he was there. So it was about time we get an origin of him. And from what the trailer showed, it looked like it was going to be an origin, alright. And also in the trailer at the end of this episode, it showed that glimpse into the future that a trailer showed us last week that everyone talked about. It looks like that's going to be in the episode of next week. And just from the trailer alone for next week, I feel like the next episode is going to be another really good one. I feel like that's where we're going to get a lot of answers on what this villain is up to, what is really happening right now in the entire show, and what are we leading to with this finale. That's all going to be in the next episode. So guess we'll wait for that next week. But anyways, if you like this video, maybe these ones on the side will interest you too. Like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.